Easily getting too hard to maintain.
Yes, yes. Oh, oh, oh.
I'll have what she's having.
Heavens to Murgatroyd!
I'll have what she's having.
Oh my God! My lady, come, my lady. My lady, come, my lady. My lady, come, my lady.
Good evening. This is S. Michael, and with me, as always, is
Honey.
what?
Christine.
Yeah, I don't even get to do the AKA thing anymore. Christine Honey. I mean, that should just be your full name.
Because I knew I was deliberately messing it up just to bug you.
She just likes fucking with me just to get a rise out of me.
I do.
Which is a kink in and of itself.
Yeah.
So,
Hi.
Hey. Speaking of kinks, we have decided to do a kink that is very near and dear to our hearts this evening.
Boy, you're just jumping right in, aren't you?
Well, hell yeah. I mean, what do we have to report on the relationship? Well, okay, so yes, you're right. I'm jumping in, getting ahead of myself slightly. We do like to give an update on our relationship, and I would say that when it comes to our...
You know the audience is now going, what the fuck? He almost said what the topic is.
I did, but you're just going to have to wait. It's good to build anticipation.
It's probably in the title, guys.
Right. Surprise. We're doing a completely different kink than what we said in the title.
Yeah.
Be that as it may, yes, our relationship is going strong, better than ever. The hardships that we have faced together have brought us together closer than ever. And I would say that I am super proud of us at this point, because even when we reach our lowest point and we're like arguing, we enter that tunnel of chaos, as I like to call it, it's over in like 5 minutes. We just...
Neither one of us have the patience for it, which is surprising because Mike usually is the one wanting to do it, and I'm the one saying...
Well, because I'm a natural debater,
But lately, he's like, nope.
It's not even worth it.
Yeah.
And again, I would say that goes hand in hand with where we're at in our relationship, which is that her cancer scare, there's nothing like a good crisis to give you.
Well, it's not a cancer scare.
Not anymore.
Well, cancer scare, when you say cancer scare, people think that means that you
maybe had cancer.
You maybe
and
had
turned
it.
out you didn't.
Yes.
Okay. No, her cancer diagnosis.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing like cancer in general to give you perspective on what's important to you.
True.
What really matters to you in life.
Yeah.
And ever since, she found out she had cancer and had a double mastectomy, and dealt with all the things that come with that. And
all the complications.
Absolutely. And,
that haven't stopped.
And by proxy, myself, it's our relationship, and, it's at the center of our relationship because it's a physical thing. It's just brought us closer together, because what matters the most to you becomes the center of your life,
your world. Yeah.
And so, I could not be happier than where we're at together, even after everything that she's been through with her diagnosis and subsequent procedures. So
yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I think that's really the only thing we have to report is just going strong and continuing to grow.
Yeah, it's like where I used to be content in arguing with her for a half an hour over something fucking stupid. It's like I think to myself, I could have lost her. And why would I want to even fucking entertain the idea of arguing with her for, over something stupid when I'm just so grateful that she's even fucking with me,
It's true. It's true. It gives you a different perspective. And I know it sounds a little trite, like people say that all the time, but it's true. As much death as I have stared in the face over the last
lost relatives.
Yeah, so many people in the last 5 years.
I lost my best friend.
Yeah, and so even with all of that, and with how grounded that all made me, nothing was like this. And I think of things differently. I don't know. It's just different, and There
Not
is
in
no
a cheesy way, like in a responsible way.
No, like what I'm saying mostly is he's right. Mike's right. I just don't have time to argue with him because it could be over tomorrow. Why would we? We've even been watching things or watching people, and we're like, why? Mike did it today. I don't remember what we were watching, but somebody was having the stupidest argument, and he looked at me and he's like, why are, they were arguing over a parking space. And he's like, why are they doing that? It's just such a waste of time. And he's right. He's right. And there may have been a time in my life, and it might not have been that long ago. I don't know. I really don't. Where I was okay with arguing over mundane, stupid things because it seemed to matter. This stuff just doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It
used to be so important to me that I would win. That always was a central focus of any time I would argue with someone, particularly my significant other, right? It's like, well, if we're going to be together, you need to understand that I'm always right, which is fucked up to begin with.
He hadn't met me yet.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Not just because of everything that's happened and he doesn't want to do it anymore, at least for now, but also because after a while, I just didn't let him get away with that bullshit.
No, it ended up being that she would just be like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not even going to entertain what you're saying to me right now.
And it's not that I won't allow him to do it, like, it's just that if it's a really stupid one, it's kind of like the parking lot argument. If it just makes no sense to me and he's just going around in circles, those I'm just like,
this isn't worth my time and energy.
Correct. Yeah, and I'm glad he's kind of taken a break from it. I'm not under any delusions that it's going to be permanent, but I'm enjoying it for now. He doesn't really want to do it, and when he does do it, it's not with me; it's with other people. So
yeah, no, that's okay. What social media is for. So.
Yeah, so those are our changes.
Activities in the lifestyle. I have not even looked at any of the apps or like AFF or SLS or even FET.
I did go on
weeks.
I did go on FET and post. I feel almost a little bit of a responsibility there because I know you do. Yeah, I actually formed. I don't know what you call them friendships because we've never met. But you know what it is on social media,
mm-hmm.
and I
You're
feel
a
like
presence there. You built something there. It's important to you.
Yeah, and I just felt like at least once every 4 weeks or so I go in and I'm just like, as a matter of fact, my last one I said I'm still alive, still here, and then those people who like hearing from me will say, oh good, glad to see you, whatever, and then I'm gone. And I'll be gone for another few weeks, and then I'll stop in, and then someday we'll feel like doing more, and we'll still.
Hey, we're ready to do XYZ. Anybody interested? What is it, DCF?
and it won't be that I disappeared a year ago and all of a sudden come back. It will be, oh yeah, you've stayed in touch, and now you're ready. I still have that connection. So anyway. Other than FET, I haven't looked at anything.
Yeah, and so that's where we're at with the lifestyle, and it is what it is,
My scar's still, it's not a full scar yet. I'm still healing. And
you haven't got your tattoo yet. No. We haven't invested in,
and you know what I didn't
outfits
think of?
For you.
You know what I didn't think of? I was going to get my tattoo in a few months. I can't get my tattoo till I have my revision.
Right.
And that heals. So I'm looking
we're looking at a year.
Yeah. I'm looking at maybe close to a year.
That doesn't mean we can't do kinky shit in the meantime.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just talking about my tattoo.
Yeah, it's not going to be our fantasy ideal that we thought about at the beginning, but whatever. We're making it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're definitely making it work. So we should talk about fucking during the healing process.
Oh my gosh.
Because we never stop wanting to fuck, and she's in pain, right? She's healing from a double mastectomy and a subsequent 2 surgeries to make this happen. And both of us still want to fuck. But the problem is that,
I think you're talking a little loud. We have people downstairs that may be able to hear.
Fuck.
May be able to hear this. Maybe bring it down a little bit.
No. Yes, of course. But be that as it may, we are both still very, hypersexual, and we want to fuck each other all the time.
And I've had to be the voice of reason at times, which kills me.
Maybe it might not be such a good idea if we fuck as hard.
And what kills me the most, and I really got sensitive about it this morning, was me having to say no because I feel like something's wrong physically. And he's like, so what? Let me fuck you anyway. You know.
Well, because before my dumbass response was fine, we just won't even fuck, you know, which was even worse. It was fucking retarded. But then it's like my follow up is like, well, I'm just going to push through, and you should push through too.
Yeah, he kept pushing. He kept pushing. He kept pushing, and he says he was joking, but it didn't feel that way to me. It made me feel horrible, and on top of feeling physically horrible. So it wasn't good.
No, I would just say in general that if I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling bad about something, if I'm healing from something, my go-to has always been humor. If you inject humor into the situation, right, it's a famous saying, laughter is the best medicine,
and
right?
And my go-to has always been sex.
So it's like, oh, well, let's fuck.
Right, but I can't.
Well, no, it hurts to fuck, and you're going to kill me if we keep fucking. You know?
I literally was...
Yep, let's do it anyway.
I literally was okay with pain and all this, but I started getting swelling and fluid, and I really, for real, I was like, could this kill me? Because this it's like could you be pushing all this fluid into my heart? You know, I mean, I literally started getting a little worried, and his solution was, well, let's just fuck some more.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Jesus, you know, that's always been therapeutic for me.
It kind of made me feel like, and I told him this, it made me feel like I don't matter.
Right, like that her pussy matters more to me than her being or whatever.
Yeah, because I don't want to be this person that's having to say this. I don't want to say
Let's
this.
stop for the sake of my actual physical health.
Let's not, so I can live. Huh.
And so this is a perfect segue into tonight's taboo, which is age kink. Because when I think of old people, I think of the fact that old people, if you ever listen to their conversations, like either when they're by themselves or talking to each other, all they talk about is what's going wrong with them physically or even mentally, but most of the time it's physically. They always talk about their ailments. Oh, I had this issue with my knee or my back or whatever. And I'm like, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're not even that.
But it's temporary.
We're not even that fucking old, you know.
But it's temporary.
No, but I think that's what makes a good segue, is that's what old people tend to talk about. And our topic this evening, our taboo of the week, is age kink. And not just old people, but also the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Got very young people. Again, for the purposes of this show, nobody under 18. You know, and I don't give a fuck if your age of consent in your state is 16.
But,
for our show is fucking 18.
But we are going to talk about the kinks where you dress up a 20-year-old to look like a 12-year-old.
Or a fucking infant, right? The diaper.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it because that's not illegal.
Nope.
But maybe it should be.
Right? You sick little monkeys. Again, we don't kink shame on this show.
No.
You know, but come on. I mean, if something, strikes you as odd, you're going to laugh. I mean, it is
maybe
what
we
it
should
is.
maybe we should start there because that's kind of fresh on my mind because we've been talking about it the last couple of days.
Like the baby kink?
No, about okay, so what started the whole conversation, and we did a podcast on it yesterday on our other show, our Unfiltered show, was I heard a podcast and they were talking about Britney Spears and how she got arrested for a DUI, and then they started talking about
Leave Britney alone.
Yeah, well, then they started talking about how sad it is, where she's at. They talked about her conservatorship. They talked about how wrong it's all gone. And then they, of course, got to talking about how young she was when she got started, how
she was 16 during Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Yeah, and she was younger than that when she started. And they talked about her father and how his main drive has been more money, more money, more money, more money. How they sexualized her, exploited her. And then they started talking about other child stars, her sister, Justin Timberlake, Ariana Grande. They just talked about a lot of people and how this goes on all the time. And the one thing they did talk about was Britney Spears, and when they did that song and they dressed her up as a schoolgirl.
Catholic schoolgirl.
Now she was only.
See,
they said she was 15, but 15 or 16, whatever. She was not 18, and they didn't want her to look it. They wanted her to look like a child, like a teenager. And it's gross when you think about it, that this is the kind of stuff that attracts
ephebophiles.
Yeah, like there are
men
plenty
who want to have sex with teenage girls.
And thank God they're at least doing it with adult people. You know, I mean, and I'm serious, as I appreciate people who can recognize their weaknesses and stay away from it. Now, I will say this, when it comes to kink, what my fear is that today you feed that kink by looking at adult women who look underage.
Yeah, Molly Rome.
But tomorrow, that might not be enough. Yeah. Tomorrow, you might have to start breaking the law, and so that I worry about. But we're that's not what we're talking about. It is a concern I have, which is one of the reasons I don't like it. And I'm not here to kink shame anybody, but so I'll just keep it.
Well, I hope not, because a couple of kinks that I have.
Well, okay, Mike and I, we age. We do that. We age.
We have age kinks.
Yes, we do. But here's the difference. Our difference is this, and I will say honestly, at least I'm being honest. I think he's being honest as well. You guys can be the judge. You may not believe us. It's okay. We roll age play.
Role play our age.
Yes. I don't know what I said, but that.
Roll age play.
Where I am 15.
Which is the age at which you lost your virginity.
Correct.
And I role play that I'm 13, which is the age at which I
not
met
together.
an adult babysitter.
Not those two together. Not those two, not the 15 and the 13-year-old. They have met, but that's not the primary fantasy. The fantasy is Chris, that's me at 15, meets Mike.
Who is in...
like 32.
His older years.
Yes. And we role play that. He takes my virginity. It hurts. It's this. It's that. He teaches me.
It is
it's
her.
me.
It is never anyone else.
No, it's me. We are reinventing or revisiting those ages in ourselves.
She never says anything goofy like, "Yeah, fuck that teenage girl."
God, no, no.
It's like, "Fuck me."
Yes,
I'm
about
15.
Us. Yes.
You're 30 or whatever.
Yes. As a matter of fact, one time I got out of my head and forgot that I was 15-year-old Chris. And I just started thinking in terms of fantasy, and I started saying, my friend's here and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, because that means unless your friend is older,
it's not you.
It's we're not doing that. There is no friend that's also 15. Forget that.
For the purposes of this show, your friend was 18.
So it's like either we are leaving this fantasy or there's no friend.
And I always wondered why I couldn't quite get into it quite as much as you did, and that may have been the sticking point. Is I do not want to think about teenage girls other than my person, which is Christine.
Yeah, and tell me that when you're with somebody that you haven't thought, wonder what she looked like when she was a teenager. Of course you have, but you're not thinking of it in a freaky way. You're thinking of it in a I was a teenager too way. What if we had met way?
Okay, this is perfect for where I wanted to go with the youth age kink, which is that, from a psychological perspective, and I can only speak from a man's perspective, we come of age, at 13, between 11 and 13, we first fall in love or get attracted to girls who are of that age. We never forget what it was like for us as being between 11 and 13 years old to have a sexual experience with another girl or with a girl who is around that age. We never forget that. We keep that with us our whole lives. That becomes almost an ideal for us. Whoever the most beautiful girl in school was when we were 15, 16 years old, that becomes our ideal for at least until we meet the person that we think kind of meets that ideal.
Wait, you said two different things. You said the girl you were with, then you said the girl that you basically fantasized to be with. Which is it?
Well, so the girl that we end up being with hopefully kind of meets our ideal.
Okay, so what you're saying is when you become of age,
Uh-huh.
you start looking at women and you form your ideal
Yes,
by
exactly.
the girls that are surrounding you.
Now, I believe for some men, they never give up that ideal.
And women do the same thing.
Yeah, and they always think of their ideal as the teenage person that they were attracted to when they were a teenager.
And that doesn't mean they want the teenager.
No, it just means that's their ideal, and they have to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah.
But I think that a mark of maturity is to move past that, and so then your ideal becomes based on other things. It's not what you thought was attractive when you were a teenager. It's what you now think of as attractive as an adult.
Now that you're a whole person.
If you're a healthy,
Yeah.
adult person.
Yeah.
But again, and man, I'm only just trying to wrap my head around the psychology of the fact that so many older men are attracted to teenage girls. And I think that is part of the reason why, is because when they are young, this kind of sticks in their head.
Plus, it's an immaturity.
Yeah, it's an immaturity. They never grow past the idea that this is their ideal person.
They are the guys that always say, oh, the good old days. Oh, the high school days. Don't you wish we were teenagers again? Those guys drive me crazy because they're serious. They are freaking serious. I'm like, absolutely not. I love my life. I love everywhere I've been. I love all my growth. I love every adventure I've had. Yeah. Every decade was better than the last. No, don't give me 15 again. I'm good. I had it, it's gone, and then I had that decade, and I had that decade, and and I am where I am. But these people, they're the cheerleaders and the football stars, and that's forever who they'll be, and they can't get past it.
Yeah, glory days. Yep.
Yeah, and it's an immaturity. And when they go through menopause or a midlife crisis, guess who's having the affair? And usually with someone a lot younger.
And Hollywood knows this, and the music industry knows this, and entertainment in general knows this. They know that there's a huge portion of the population that will always see the ideal female figure as being between 15 and 18 years old.
That's just gross.
And unfortunately, that is...
I mean, I'm sorry if...
Well, yeah.
I don't mean to offend
we can agree.
Anybody.
It's fucking gross. But it's a reality.
I do not look at young men that are 20 or under and be attractive. And I say 20 and under only because I have seen some early 20-somethings who didn't look it. So I'm being a stickler for honesty here. Since I have seen some 22, 23, 24-year-olds who looked to me like they were in their 30s and acted that way, therefore I can't, and I was attracted to them. So I can't say that I was never attracted to a 20-something-year-old because it happened. But I didn't know they were, and that's the truth. I was with a 24-year-old. And...
when?
About a year ago.
No shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I didn't know. I did not know.
Because he looked older. Okay,
I
whatever.
thought he was 34.
Ah, you're so funny.
And that's still young. And I was with two 34-years. 33.
We're gonna have a talk after this show.
Yeah, whatever. But so I can't say 20. So I'll just say 20 and under. I have never looked at a young man 20 and under, 20 or under, and thought they were attractive. Could I look at them and think they're going to be attractive someday? Yes.
Okay, and that's important, okay, because I'm constantly making this differentiation. There is a gulf of difference between appreciation of beauty and lust, okay? You can look at a 16-year-old girl and say, wow, she is very beautiful. She, you know what, when she becomes an adult, she will probably be an attractive woman.
Just like when you say, oh, you're going to be a heartbreaker to those boys.
But... saying, oh man, look at that. There's a huge fucking difference.
When you elbow your buddy and say, look at that ass, on a 16-year-old, on your daughter's friends?
Me? Yeah.
No.
And again, we ain't kink shaming nobody, but are you fucking kidding me? Ephebophilia is a thing. A, it's illegal in a lot of states. And B, come on, I mean, think about it. Are you really that inadequate that you have to go after a piece of young ass? Come on, if you want it that badly, find a girl who looks like she's young.
they're out there.
Yeah.
There's girls that
Again,
have no
Hollywood
body.
understands, that men like to look at very young girls.
Some guys like a girl that doesn't have a shape yet because they like very young girls. So they like
We should talk about what we've been experiencing.
So they look for a flat chested, no hip, no ass, no waist girl, basically a little boy, and here's the thing, there are 50-something-year-old women that have that shape. They're out there, okay. If that's what you're into, if that's what you're into, just go find it in an appropriate age.
So you're not stealing somebody's actual innocence and destroying their lives.
Yeah. What are we into?
Well, you're flat-chested now.
Well, yeah, we've talked about it.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not necessarily an age kink per se, but like...
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there is something about a woman who has no breasts. Okay, it's pretty easy to think of her as innocent and young again.
Like before she had boobs to flaunt.
Yeah, because she doesn't, It's no more boobs.
All right, I think I'm at a point there. Let's talk about old people.
Okay, old people.
So when I was 18 years old, I was basically seduced by a woman who was 28 years older than me, and we had a 5-year sexual relationship. It was amazing. I mean, I was 18, so I was like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, let's fuck all the time. And so I had an age kink because she was older than me, and I was like, yeah. I would actually buy like the 40 plus, 50 plus magazines, the MILFs, even pressing into the GILF area. And that was my kink for a long time when I was very young. And it's funny, the statistics that I've read, when you read statistics about rape or grape, I don't know. I think we can say rape. When you read statistics about rape of women who are over a certain age, women who are over the age of 60, it may even be as high as 70, almost always is somebody in their early 20s. So it's strange to me, but it's a thing. Very, very many young men have an age kink. They're into women who are way older than them. For instance, Christine, who met I was going to say boy, but a man who was in his early 20s and presented as being in his 30s. So it's more common than you would think.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, I don't have any extreme... Well, when I was 35, I was with an 18-year-old.
Ooh,
when I was 15... there was a 38-year-old named Chuck who tried to get me to go out with him. I wouldn't.
But he totally would deflower you.
Oh, yeah, in a second. Yeah, in a heartbeat. When I was 15, was dating and ended up marrying a guy that was 21. And, I mean, when you're 15 and you're dating a 21-year-old, that's a lot.
Sure.
Later, it's
that's
just
not
6
even
years.
covered under Romeo and Juliet laws.
Yeah. I mean, later, he was just 6 years older than me. Not a big deal. That's less than Mike and I. But at the time...
We have a 13-year spread, yes.
Yeah. But at the time, a 15-year-old with a 21-year-old, that's a lot. And I remember people would always say, and your parents don't care? My parents didn't give a fuck. No. Yeah, when I got pregnant and married him, all of a sudden they cared. So whatever.
Well, because then it becomes official public record or whatever.
I guess.
It's
But
not just a phase.
Those are my only
Age kink type things.
Yeah, age-related escapades.
So I'm always interested in your Chatterbait era, and when you were doing your show, but mainly Chatterbait. It's like, did you have like way younger dudes?
I had a ton of 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. Here's the thing though, you don't know who's really on the other end of that.
Right.
But the way they presented themselves was, yes, I had a shit ton of 18 and 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds. And plenty of them did come on camera, and yes, they were very young, and yes, they were very ripped and very
hung,
very hung. Usually very
like
hung.
to jerk off for you on camera.
Yep. Did all the stuff, and they really.
Did that turn you on?
I mean, well.
Well, I'm serious.
No, I know. I don't know. I did not use Chatterbait that way. I don't know if I'm weird. because I'm highly sexual, yet I didn't use it like that. It didn't turn me on.
It was just business.
It was just business. Now, there are people who are going to listen to this that are going to hate me for saying that. And
it's just business?
Well, yeah, that we're there. And, hey, I'm a good actress.
Hell yeah, you are.
You
should hear some of the crazy shit she does when we do role play.
Yeah, I mean, I am. I know how to. Yeah, I'm good. Now, I'm not saying I didn't get caught up in things. I definitely got caught up in things.
It's part of the show, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, excuse me.
Well, it's like a porn star, It's funny. Like, when you watch porn movies, you realize that these actresses are being paid for what they do. But there are real orgasms happening.
Right. And
you can tell the difference.
And I did
actually
orgasm plenty of times. But it had little to do with the people.
I'm turned on by you.
Right. It wasn't that.
Well, you're working to make them think that you are. So
it definitely was, as far as they were concerned, it was all about them.
It's method acting.
Yeah, but it was a real thing. It just wasn't necessarily what it looked like.
Yeah. There's physical stimulation. There's actually getting into your role.
That's it. I could easily get into my role. And that turned me on.
And I am reaping all the benefits of her years of chatterbait. I'm like the luckiest motherfucker on the planet. I cannot tell you.
Well, when we started role playing, I didn't know what the fuck.
No, but it didn't take long before you were like, oh, this is like when I did chatterbait. I'm just, dipping into the fantasy and
And I told him, it'll take me a few false starts, but I will get it. And once I get it.
Yep, she's got it.
Yeah, just no. If
I've been fucking her for 40 minutes and she's like, all right, we're done. She's like, oh, hey, you're doing this to so-and-so or whatever it takes. And it's like, yep, yeah. I'm done.
Last night he actually started laughing. He's like, are you trying to get me to come?
No, when have I ever?
Yeah, why would I do that? As you're shoving my guts into my chest.
Oh, God.
I'm such a fucking good girlfriend. I cannot tell you.
Understatement. You are fucking amazing. Yeah, I'm just. Oh, it's funny though. We have a listener, or you have a longtime fan who's been spamming you in your email.
Yeah.
I love this guy. I don't know where he's from. He doesn't speak English very well, but
and this guy has been emailing me, and on my Instagram
for days.
Well, no, this guy has been emailing me, Instagramming me, and now he's on my TikTok too, and it's been years.
Jesus wept.
Yeah, years.
And it's always the same. It's like, I want to suck your face, my love, my sweet, my honey.
I have a joke for you.
Yes. Love my joke that I'm sharing with you. You know, it's so funny, like his broken English and his literal, like, straight up lust and obsession with her. I love it. But so to get back to the age kink, so we kind of were swinging back towards the elderly version. I mean, I guess technically at this point you would be a gilf, yeah. I mean, you're in your you're in your early 60s. You know, you have grandchildren, actual grandchildren. I'm about to be a granddad, so
I'm about to be a great grandmother.
Jesus wept. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, in June.
But nobody says good gilf. I mean, it's gilf. You know.
Yeah. I'm a double gilf.
I like the word double.
I am the great gilf. The great gilf.
But yeah, I mean, so let's talk about the other side of it. You know, we talked about it a little bit. I was with a woman 28 years my senior, and yeah, I got into, you know, older women or whatever. And I think the main appeal was, you know, that older women are more put together. They have a sense of what they want out of life. They don't fuck around. They don't play games. They're like, yep, if you want to fuck, let's fuck. You know, we don't have to work up to it. Let's just fuck. And I loved that when I was very young. You know, there's a wisdom, you know, that older women have. They don't need to, you know, be wooed or any of that shit. I mean, when we're talking about lifestyle, right? Or if we're talking about porn. Now, obviously, in real life, things have a completely different dynamic, but...
Well, I always asked the younger guys, why do you like older women? I always asked them.
Yeah.
And the answer was always the same.
Yeah.
And it was always because they know what they want.
Yep.
And they don't play games.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, and younger women...
It almost didn't matter what they look like. They just didn't want any games.
Nope.
And and a lot of times the older women, it was just no strings. It's like, look, I don't want you here any more than you want to be here. Come back when you want to.
When you mentioned it, I wanted to throw this in there. It makes biological sense because if you look up the statistics, men reach their sexual peak at 18.
Yeah.
Women don't reach their sexual peak until 36.
Yeah.
And that's on average, and again, that's not across the board. There's always the exceptions that prove the rule. Okay, but in general, men it's 18, women it's 36. Now picture an 18-year-old fucking a 36-year-old woman. You know, that's kind of hot. You know?
That's what happened. I was 35, he was 18.
Yeah. It made sexual, biological sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I had been a fly on that wall.
Yeah.
Wait, where were you at that? Right. Was it me? Wait, you look very familiar.
We're not that far apart in age.
No.
See, but talking about us, tell them who I am to you.
Oh, she was my babysitter. So yeah, when I was 13 years old, I had a babysitter who was 13 years older than me, who was 26. And I was coming of age right at the time that, you know, she became my babysitter. She was hot, you know, and this was the 80s, right? It would have been 13. I was born in 75, so 75 plus 13, 1988. How old are you in 88?
I
You were
was 26
in 88.
yeah.
So yeah, this would have been 1988 is when we first met. You know, this is our fantasy, right? This is our kink that we always play with. I was Mikey.
I didn't know
was,
anything about it. He told me that I was his babysitter.
I was Mikey and she was Christine, and my parents hired her to come take care of me, you know, and my younger siblings, but they all went to bed early and I got to stay up late with Christine, you know, and she was so fucking hot, like this gorgeous blonde. And in the 80s, like, blonde bombshells were still the fucking thing, right? It started with Marilyn Monroe, but it carried on well into the late 80s. Like, we had fucking Heather Locklear and fucking, you know, Baywatch. And who was the Baywatch bitch?
Pam Anderson.
Pam Anderson. Like, just so many blonde bombshells that were, like, the sexual ideal, you know? And here she was, you know, 1988. I'm 13. She's 26. And she is so fucking hot. And she's my babysitter. And she's letting me stay up late. And she kind of is wearing shorty shorts, you know, and she lets me play video games, but I'm not paying attention to the fucking game. You know, I'm looking at her legs, I'm looking at her ass, you know.
He still does that.
And it's like, I give her sideways glances. I don't look directly at her because I don't want her to know that I'm looking at her, right?
He still does that. Literally.
And it turns you on.
It does. I love it. I love it.
So she gets into the whole role play, you know. She's like, yeah, Mikey. Like, what are you looking at, Mikey? You know, and all the things.
And he gets so shy. Nothing.
Yeah, and eventually, like, or occasionally Mikey will get brave and he's like, I want to have sex with you. And she's like, no, we can't do it until you're 18. And I was like, well, you know, Jewish people are considered men when they're 13 and I'm 13, you know. So it's a whole thing that we've been doing since we first met.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and yeah, that's age kink, you know, and it works both ways, you know. She's like, she gets to enjoy my innocence and vice versa. You know, I get to enjoy the older, more experienced woman as a teenager.
And I loved, and I shared this with him, I loved the idea of him taking my virginity because my experience with losing my virginity was horrible. And I told him, you could help me have a different feeling about the whole thing. Just, I can... You know, maybe we'll role play it enough that when I die, I'll actually think it's the truth.
That her virginity was taken when she was 15 by a much older guy who actually gave a fuck about her and ended up taking care of her. You know, Again, and we need to reiterate this. We do not advocate anybody over 18 doing anything with anyone under 18.
No.
This is kink, it's fetish, it's fantasy, and it's only between two consenting adults who love each other.
And are only thinking of themselves.
Exactly. Like
in terms of being young, not other people.
This is just a younger version of myself, and vice versa, you know.
And it seems like we're stressing it a lot, so it seems like we're shaming people who do otherwise. So I think we should just get away from the topic.
Well, no. So, but that's why I explained the psychology of it to begin with. I totally understand. And I did. When I was in my early 30s, I went through a period where I was looking at, teen gangbang, teen does this, teen does that. I was looking at teen porn, And again, they're all over 18. It's all been documented. I'm not breaking the law. But that was my kink for a while, And people have various kinks throughout their lives. And so, again, we are not shaming anyone for whatever they're into. Of course that young women are attractive. They are of childbearing age. We are biological beings.
Don't start that.
You hate the biology argument.
It's so stupid. It's so effing stupid.
But I just use it as one example of why we don't kink shame. We get it. Some older people are into younger people. And that's fine. That's your thing. As long as you're not breaking the law or actually hurting anybody, fine. You do you.
Yeah. Agree.
And vice versa. If you're into older people, older women, older men, and that's your kink, more power to you. I mean, again, Christine's 13 years older than me, and there are many things that attracted me to her because of that. Not only does she know what she wants, but she's seasoned. She's been around.
Seasoned? What the fuck?
Well, she's seasoned in the ways.
Is that why you lick me and suck on me all over the place? I taste good.
Fully seasoned, yes.
Fully seasoned.
It's the curry.
It's better than brine.
It's the cumin. No, it's that she knows what she wants. She's lived enough life to have experienced enough life to, know what, to be good at what she does sexually, to be, confident in her body and in herself. And I just, that instantly attracted me to her. Like she knows how to wear a fucking pair of jeans and a flannel shirt, That's not something that a young girl could pull off. So
oh, yeah, it is.
Is it really? I mean, not the way that I want. There's curves involved. And
that's true.
There's a stance, And again, if you're into the opposite of that, fine, you do you. But to me, Christine is my ideal. It's an older woman who knows what she wants out of life, who is not into any of the bullshit. And we are on a similar level when it comes to wisdom and experience. And I needed that from somebody, my person. Christine is my person. And I've never been happier at any other time in my life. And that's all, like, all the things. That's all. It's sexual. It's socially. It's entertainment-wise. It's, there's a slight generation gap when it comes to entertainment, but I'm an old soul, so it's funny. Like, I ask her constantly, like, what did you watch when you were, 10 years old or 5 years old or whatever? And I was like, I know about that. I'm into that. So it works out, But again.
Oh, we share. I don't think there's anything really that we talk about, either of us, that the other never heard of it.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, there might be a couple of things on my end that I didn't hear, but we are very compatible.
But I mean, so that kind of straddles the line between a kink and a relationship. I mean, it's easy for me to, get sexually attracted to Christine because she's my ideal. But if it's just a kink for you, that's different from trying to form a relationship with somebody who's older. So
yeah, but that doesn't mean that whatever you find attractive about me, if we weren't together and you were just looking for casual, that you wouldn't be looking for some of those same traits as your kink. I hope you would.
For sure.
Right? I hope that that's what makes me your ideal. It's not just because of all the...
well, think about where we met. We met on an adult website, that basically is about the lifestyle or whatever. So, that was at the forefront of it, was what is sexually attractive to you. One of our big ones was sapiosexuality. We are attracted to intelligence and wisdom.
Yeah.
Did you see the thing that I posted on our Unfiltered Real Talk about sapiosexuals, the comedian that talked about...
No.
You go back and look at it. Okay. It's hilarious.
All right.
But yeah, we're both sapiosexual. We're attracted to intelligence and wisdom, and I think that when it comes to age kink, that is a factor. If you're looking at older people, you may view them as, more intelligent.
And
or
sapio
wise.
is a difficult thing to find. I mean, a true sapiosexual. I mean, sapio is one thing. There's sapios everywhere.
Yeah.
But a sapio...
intelligence is interesting.
Yeah.
Good.
But a sapiosexual...
I get off on the fact that you are smart.
Right.
And wise.
And yeah, there aren't... I mean, it's difficult to find somebody you're that... I think Mike's the first true sapiosexual that I've ever met. There's been people who have used that word and said they were, but they obviously weren't because they never got into.
They don't follow up. Like, you can pretend, you can play it off for a while that you're a sapiosexual, but eventually, if you're not, it's going to be obvious because the other person will be like, why don't you talk at length about the things that we used to talk about?
Yeah. And Mike and I
constantly.
We've done it since we first
together.
Yeah, we did it online from the first time we met, whether we were talking sexually or which we didn't talk a lot sexually, kind of flirty.
Yeah.
But we talked deep from the beginning. Yeah. And we haven't stopped yet.
Nope.
Don't plan on it. So, yeah. That is definitely something you get from older people.
The adverse or the opposite of that may apply to the opposite age kink. If you
it's amazing.
Are the opposite of a sapiosexual, which is that you're just into like somebody who's not going to question you or whatever.
You would want somebody younger.
Want the innocence. Yeah, they haven't experienced a whole life, and I'm into that. I don't need their fucking wisdom and intelligence.
The downside of that is that when they grow a little, they're going to grow away from you. It's just going to happen.
And then you'll just dump them and go with somebody who's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years younger or whatever.
Yeah, but the sad part is that
if you're a fucking shallow piece of shit. No.
A lot of people end up falling for their young person, and then the young person
ages
naturally,
out.
Ages out. And so that's a really good reason not to mess with younger people. Again, I say the same thing about older people. You can find a shell of a person if that's what you want. You could find a submissive person. You could find anything you're looking for if you just bother to, look. So,
well, who is the oldest person you've ever fucked? What was the age the age of the oldest person you ever fucked?
That would be my husband.
Who was
when the last time I was with him?
The last time you had sex with him
was in 2020.
What age was he?
I know, I'm kind of thinking. It's in 2021, probably. And so he was born in, 21, 22, I turned 60.
So he was
6 years older, so he's 66.
66. So the oldest person you've ever fucked was 66.
Yes.
The oldest person I've ever fucked was 63. However...
Yes, but how old were you when you screwed the
53? I was 50.
Oh, it's me.
Yes. Now, the biggest age gap. Let's talk about the biggest age gap.
Mine was
not... The biggest age gap was 28 years older than me.
Mine was 30.
46 and I was 18.
Mine was 30.
So you got me beat.
Yeah.
Like
twice.
Years. Yeah.
Twice. Two 30-year-old
but I was with her for 5 years, so...
Yeah. If you'd like, I could just keep doing it until I accumulate that much time.
Yeah.
Sure.
We can do that.
Yeah. And every time I hit a 20-year-old... Every time I hit a 20-year-old, it gives me like 10 points for...
Wait, you mean every time a 20-year-old hits you?
Yeah. Then I get closer to that 5 years. Somehow I got to fill up that 5-year gap.
All right, we'll make it work. All right, so all you 20-year-olds listening, if you want to fuck honey and even the score, send us an email.
Yeah. Remember, I have no boobs.
That would be taboo, a couple's journey at gmail.com.
You gotta be into flat nippleless girls.
And I would say you gotta be hung, because by this point
that's his fantasy.
What?
He wants to see me get fucked by a big cock.
Yeah, well, it's okay. You're right. I may be somewhat biased, but
yeah.
By hung, I mean don't be like less than 4 inches. Come on.
Because he's decent size.
I'm at least 7 on a good day, so.
But he's really thick too.
Yeah, that matters.
Yeah, it does.
Girth matters.
I'd rather have thickness than length any day.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, fellas, remember that if you got girth, you're the fucking man.
Yeah.
Whether you're fucking 5 inches or 10 inches.
Think about it. If you're 4 inches and thick, she's going to feel it, right? Because you're thick.
At least she'll feel it, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're 4 inches and skinny, you're not going to do much for her.
You better find you a tiny ass woman.
Yeah, or just be used to fucking ass.
I was going to say Asian, but that would be racist.
Well, I talked to a guy.
Lord, I apologize.
I used to talk to many guys who were 5 inches or under and not very thick. And that is one thing that it gives them a nice fuck is an ass.
Well, yeah, you gotta fuck them in the ass or they're not gonna feel a fucking thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know? And it's nice and tight for them.
Yep.
Whereas when, I mean, it's not just a
what we
woman.
need to do, baby, to break you in, like anally. Let's find an Asian dude or somebody with a small penis yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was with an Asian guy once, and it was a one-night stand. I was drunk.
Ding, ding, ding,
He was drunk. We'd been up at a casino all night, and we went back. He couldn't have been bigger than 2 inches.
Oh my God.
It was
micro penis. Holy shit.
It was, and it's the second micro penis I've ever seen in my life, and it was worse than disappointing. It was I don't know. I didn't want to see him again for sure. I mean, I didn't want to run into him. I just was embarrassed.
Well, so we should talk about that a little bit, about what happens to you when you get old. So
he wasn't old.
No, but I've mainly been thinking. Well, that's what brought me around to it though, was the shrinky dink. I've mainly been thinking about like guys who are into women who are older, but maybe girls or even guys who are into seeing older men do shit. Older men often run into like ED issues, like they're not able to get it up.
It's very common. And if they can still get it up, it's not as hard as it used to be. It's just not.
And it's interesting, like if you look at the ads for sexual AIDS, they're starting to recognize that. They're like, do you want to be harder? Do you want to last longer? Do you, it's just fucking, just creams my corn how they take care of every fucking little thing that comes up with a man, especially regarding sexuality. Yeah. But with a woman, go off in the corner and fucking menopause, die. Yeah, just fuck you. You deal with it, bitch. Yeah.
It's part of life.
No, you're absolutely right. Men, it's a man's world, right?
What the fuck is that?
Well, bless my 10 toes. Yeah, it's like James Brown said, it's a fucking man's world. But, things are getting better. We're improving.
I'm gonna fucking...
We're working on it. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, so where I was going with the ED thing was that if you have an age kink, it might not even necessarily be entirely sexual. Like maybe you're just into the fact that they are farther along in life, that they know more, that it may almost be a sapiosexual thing, or even, dare I say it, a financial,
You're
kink.
talking about if a young girl is...
If a young girl is interested in an older man.
It's definitely financial instability is a lot of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's funny, there is a play, and I may have mentioned this towards the beginning of our series, but there is a Playboy study that was done in the early 80s that proved that women have more intense orgasms the more money that their partner makes. If they know how much their partner makes... That
would not matter to me one fucking
No, it
bit.
sure doesn't, thankfully, because I'm not a fucking millionaire. But
no,
I'll tell you what, I fuck like a millionaire.
I've been with a couple of people who
were off,
very well off, and it made no difference.
But overall, this study that they did showed that the more money that their partner made, the more intense the woman's orgasm was. And this is scientific.
And I will tell you this. A lot of the women, the young women who go for men because they have money, it's not because they're gold digging. They won't even abuse the money. They just need and crave, want security.
Yep.
And they will treat him very well. But you can tell the difference. The gold diggers, they usually treat the guy bad.
Like shit.
Yeah.
No, they can't wait for him to fucking die.
Yeah, so they're going to make his life miserable so he fucking kills himself.
I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke. Yeah, I'm not going to say the N-word, but you know what I'm saying. Like, Anna Nicole Smith marrying that 70-some-odd-year-old
But she loved him.
Yeah, according to all reports, she treated him like gold. So, okay. I mean, that's a mutually beneficial relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship, if you will.
Yeah.
And it can work the other way around, There could be a young guy that gets with a much older woman.
I'll tell you, I do believe when you see a younger guy wheeling around a woman who's had strokes or, whatever, and you think she's obviously leaving him a lot of money, it's not necessarily true. In those cases, whether it's a man or a woman, that's the older and the younger, that younger person may actually care very deeply for that person. Who are we to fucking say?
No, it may very well be mutually beneficial.
And it might not have to do with sex, like you said. It might just be a deep caring on a different level. Because that person, the elderly person, might not even be capable of being intimate in that way anymore. But that younger person very possibly could have a deep connection.
Very real connection.
Very real. And that's why I will fight and die on that hill, like on yesterday's podcast. I will fight that there are people in every situation that we all always want to tear apart and shame and say, oh, it's so wrong. It's not necessarily wrong. I like to give everybody
exceptions that prove the rule.
Yeah, I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt until I see different.
Yep. And I'm trying to learn how to do that myself. I mean, again, if I see a dude who's 50 years old, a college professor, and he's been courting a girl since she was 17, basically grooming a girl since she was 17.
Yeah, and this was our main argument last night.
And then marries her at the age of 18, and she lives in a third world country, and he's well off. There's a huge gulf between the power dynamics there, and I'm like, dude, are you seriously trying to tell me that this is about love?
And then I said, number one, how fucking dare you? Just because he did it in the way he did it, and it unfolded in the way it unfolded. It is very highly possible that you ask both of them, and she is going to tell you, my life is immensely better. My family's life is better. I have everything I've ever wanted. He treats me well, and I love him.
And my instant answer to that is that may very well be an advanced form of Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, bullshit.
Basically, you have made the best of your situation because you had no alternative.
No, that is not always true.
Slave owners would give the same argument.
Yeah,
she's way better off than she would have been if she was off on her own,
Does it happen? Yes.
Oh, for sure. Exploitation happens every day all over the world.
But I also
Human trafficking, slavery,
But I also know there are plenty of couples who die together, and their relationship came to be
from an arranged marriage or mail order bride or what have you.
It happens.
Again,
and
I
from
can't
the
help
outside,
but raise an eyebrow when I see a huge age gap in power
from the
differential.
outside, when you look in on that, so many people are going to judge it. And unless she looks hurt, unless she looks scared, unless she looks like she's in need of help, I say fuck off and leave her alone and leave him alone. Unless there's a reason to worry. And if you're that invested, then pay attention. And if there is a reason, do something about it. Then go ahead and say, something's wrong here. But otherwise, fuck off.
So, Philo Van from Documenting Reality, if you're listening to this, my girlfriend actually agrees with you. She's on your side, motherfucker. So, this is hilarious to me. And I can't wait to meet this dude someday. Apparently, they're in the States now. I thought they were still in the Philippines, but... my own biological father married a woman who was
that's why I told
way the fuck younger than him. And
I told him. I said, you're biased. You're biased about this.
Totally. I mean, and I'm not going to lie. Like, I do have some personal bias
and I don't
feeds into this.
I mean, I have been, look, I have my share of trauma in my life and all that, but I have a very, very, very open mind, and I have a very fair mind, and it's just the way I like to live. It gives me the most peace. And I will continue to do so.
Live and let die. Live and let live, yes. Okay, so I think we probably have said just about everything that we want to say about Kink, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, we're coming up on an hour, so as always, we wish...
Well, tell them about next week.
Oh, yeah. So we have scheduled anyway. We have a special guest scheduled to appear on the show next Thursday at 7 p.m. We're not doing it live, but that's when we'll be recording. Jessa Jupiter Flux. And you may recognize her from such movies and TV as Shark Exorcist 2, Bigfoot Exorcist, and Deadly Dealings, and several Trauma features. Trauma, of course, being famous for things like The Toxic Avenger and Tromeo and Juliet. Yes, this is a famous B-movie actress who also is an exotic dancer in Evansville, Indiana. And she goes by the stage name Jessa Jupiter Flux. And we are excited to have her as part of the show to talk about next week's Taboo of the Week, which will be exploitation / exotic dancing. And so, yeah, if you have any thoughts or comments, concerns, questions, etc., about exotic dancing or sexploitation horror movies,
And I'll be bringing my boobs.
Oh, yeah. Or lack thereof.
My deep cleavage.
Don't think I haven't noticed how tentative you were about this guest.
What?
Like, we'll talk about that on the show next week. But
We
it's
will?
like, oh, you're inviting a girl on the show who has huge bosoms and is a sexploitation star. Now, you never came right out and said anything, but I've noticed, like, oh, yep, I'm excited about our next guest.
Well, that's actually kind of a shitty way to end the show because
I misread you? Like,
I actually, if I had any feelings about this,
yep.
It would probably be a sadness and a very sensitive spot.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
it would be very mean of you to bring it up in such a cavalier way.
Well, I'm not trying to be cavalier. I'm trying to be transparent and honest in real time like we often do and almost always do. And I'm glad that you responded in the way you did because you're right. It was kind of a dick move at the end of the show. Next week, we will be having a sexploitation
And I
actress.
probably, just a newsflash, will not be discussing any feelings I have on this because that's rather embarrassing.
It's a sensitive subject,
I just had the surgery.
as very well it should be. But I think, and we may even do a special show between now and then, talking about sexploitation versus personal issues and things that you've been through that may affect you a certain way. We're doing a separate show. We haven't done our first episode yet, but we've talked about it, called the Scared Titless Podcast. Where we talk about sexploitation in horror movies that exploit women's breasts.
Yeah, and he'll talk about it from a man's point of view, and I'm going to talk about it from a woman's point of view who's had breast cancer
Not only
and
a
lost
woman, but a woman who has lost her breasts.
Yes.
So again, and that's the only reason I bring it up in such a cavalier, as you said, manner.
And look, do not misunderstand. I have plenty of confidence. I love my body. I might love my body more now than I did before.
But you are fresh off the presses.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like, and that's embarrassing to bring. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't think she'll listen to this, but if she does, I apologize. But the way this is going to sound,
Jessa Flux?
yes, to bring a woman and put her up against another woman and want that woman that lost her breast to talk about,
So
that's terrible.
No,
That's
it's not terrible. It's actually, I think it's going to come up during the show, and I'll tell you why. Because she is in Orgy of the Dead 2. She actually appears in Orgy of the Dead 2. And the original Orgy of the Dead is the first movie that we watched together where I realized, oh my God, everything has changed. It's no longer okay for me to look at boobs without considering the fact, on a movie screen, without considering the fact that my person, the love of my life, the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, no longer has boobs. This is something that I, as a male, who's been looking at boobs my whole fucking life, has to consider now. And that matters. It's something that should be talked about. It's something that a person with boobs who does sexploitation will probably be very interested in talking about. It's like, as someone who makes money, do you ever consider the other women who don't have the boobs that you have, who can't, attract men the way you do? Do you consider, their husbands who are jerking off to your pictures while, they're being left in the lurch or whatever?
Okay. So now that this has gotten into very uncomfortable territory,
It's a bit of a rabbit hole. You're right.
Let me leave you, dear audience, with this little story that will apply to this topic. In one of my breast cancer support groups, we have an exotic dancer, and she came in and posted this week, and she said, hey, I just returned to work post double mastectomy and flat. She went flat like me. She's all healed up, and she went back to work. And there was she's probably in Daytona because it's biker week. Because it was all bikers. They had kind of taken over the club. And she was up there dancing for the first time. And there was this one biker sitting there at the bar at the stage, and he's watching her. And he made some comment. I don't remember what she said, but he made some comment about, you got no boobs. And she's like, yeah, I have cancer. They got removed. And he's like, man, that sucks.
Oh.
He's like, that sucks. And he goes, but there's some cool battle scars. And she's like, thanks. And she's still dancing. He goes, but my only question is, what am I going to do? Where am I going to put this $100 bill? And she's like, well, you can put it on the stage. You can put it in my panties. You can. So she's giving him all these ideas. And he said, you know what I would like to do? I would like to lick right there and stick it on your battle scar. And I don't know.
She let him, eh? Or did she leave it there?
She left it there. That's what he wanted to do. So I'm guessing she got her $100 tip. And maybe he got to touch her battle scar. I don't know.
She didn't say what I would have said in that situation was, well, I'll tell you where you can put it.
She wanted it.
Yeah. It's $100. $100 is $100, yeah.
So anyway, that's, I think, where we should.
That is a perfect place to end it.
Yeah.
So best of luck to all of you in all of your sexual adventures.
And everything else.
Till next time.
Bye.